Friends, hope you enjoyed that. So yes, the City Class has been serviced. I have, it had way too much grease inside it, but yeah, fully cleaned, wheels fully cleaned, and it's now, I feel, ready. Once I've got the plates, or I've got time to get the plates sorted, it's ready to become Malta. It was going to be City Truro. I've got some really nice memories of the real City Truro running and being pulled by it and things like that, but I think I shouldn't pass up the opportunity to have an engine named Malta. So yes, and the sound effects in the second clip were provided by Train Sim, a City Class in Train Sim. Slightly disappointed actually. Caledonia Works, the models are superb and the driving is really good. It's the way they're doing the steam chest these days, simulation these days, and the smoke textures are, they're taking the satisfaction out of it for me. I feel you've got regulators that just drop down. It's not with the yeah, it just decreases, and it's like no, I've got it open. You know, the Bossman Games ones have a simulated steam chest, and actually, unlike Caledonia Works, you press the button to open the regulator and it immediately does something. You know, if you got, the best way to tell you've got the cylinder cock to open and immediately start ejecting steam. The Bossman Games ones, you have to sort of crank it up a bit before you get it to the point where it starts opening and juggle it about a bit. I prefer that way, and also the other, so that's a bit of annoyance. It takes some of the thing, you can get around that a bit. The real thing that kills it for me at the minute is the fact that these steam effects, you end up with a black column of sort of smoke, and then you might get some white steam later on. There's no proper chuffs out the funnel to really show that you're moving. For those who have watched the recent video wallpapers, if you go and look at the A4 one, or the Great Western one with the City Class, you'll see the difference if you compare that then to the Clawton. I think the Clawton's got proper chuffs, or some of the other ones where you can see it properly out the chimney as it goes, which makes such an immersion difference for me. And apparently it just depends on how your system is whether you see the steam properly or not. So some people with those same models will be able to see a chuff apparently, but Caledonia Works' own computer can't do it either, because we took the videos from them. So I'm a little bit disappointed by that. Anyway, but that's not what this video is about. At the end, there is some more footage that I took on Wednesday night before the Deltic came. So some Class 91s and Class 6 at least. There might be something else as well. I think there's 3 clips to go in there, so something to hang on for at the end. I'm going to try and keep this. Is the second time you're trying to record this, so I went on for far too long. That's all. So I'm trying to keep it much shorter. So yes, big thing is I'm going to Alexandra Palace to the London Festival of Aero Modelling next weekend on Saturday. This is as a visitor, not with the layout Saturday. I'll have been a bit more announcy about that one, though I have got something exciting coming up in a future video to tell you about with regards to a layout, show this layout's now been booked with. Yes, I'll be meeting a friend there, but if anyone knows, I did have a quick look to see if there was a meetup going on there. I couldn't find one. If someone knows there is one, it'd be great. But yes, if I see me, I'm happy to say hello as the day goes on. It's always good to meet people. And I say that from the point of view of meeting friends. I'm not thinking, you'll want to come and do a meet and greet with me, get things signed. I'm not that big-headed. It's, we've interacted via, comments or what have you. It'd be great to be able to say, oh yeah, how you doing? And, shake your hand, great to meet you in person, that sort of thing. It's a mutual thing, not a one-sided thing. I suppose that's what I'm going for. I am not a big shit, as it were. So yes, so I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be my first time going to London on my own. So it's very simple, down to Marylebone to King's Cross to Alexandra Palace, get the bus drive to the event. It is simple itself. Tube between Marylebone and King's Cross there. So yeah, it's all bought and paid for. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And of course, now doing a big city on my own like that, doing a trip down to London, with regards to building up my confidence in such things, it's also, I would say, the official first step towards me going to Japan. So there's a nice link to that. And that. So yes. The only thing I'm struggling with at the minute is, and this is where the video got way too long, and yeah, I'm trying to do my best to keep it short, is what railway company I want for my baseline. Now, as I said before, locking myself into a prison like that is not great. It's not the way to go. And in fact, I have written it down. So here, the biggest thing I need to remember with this project is that whatever I choose is purely my main theme for locomotives, rolling stock and rail-related scenery to provide a solid base for running sessions. So basically I should have enough stock, and the buildings will be correct, and for all in the area for themselves, each other, as it were. Well, it should all be correct to be able to run a believable running session with just those. Okay. It is not a prison from which I am not allowed to deviate from. For instance, should I want a Class 50 diesel, which I do, I can get it. So if I'm doing pre-grouping London, Brighton, South Coast Railway, I'm not going to do that one, but say I was doing that, like I say, I want to A4 Pacific, I want a Class 50 diesel, I want to get in the Zoomer, get it and run it, but I've got that base scenery in place. That's the way my mind works, that's the way I need to do it. So obviously there's several great contenders doing the rounds. I even had a t-shirt made during this week's Burst of Bravado towards the London North Western Railway. It's not plum quite, but it's the best purple I could find. But it's fun. And they also let me test the quality of the print from the company I got it from, so, you know, wasn't too bad actually. See how it does have some washes. I'm failing everything else, I'll be wearing that one to London. Yes, the Great Western, obviously number one in most people's minds, when I would suppose when it comes to me, number one in my mind when I think of me. Anthony pointed out to me during our chat on Wednesday that I managed to go towards it and I started to shy away from it again. And it is a real sort of back and forth. It's things that people say around me, shouldn't bother me, but they do. It's going to take a long time to rewire my brain to not let that bother me. Obviously I've had to do those things with Japan, some of the comments I've had in the past. Fortunately, actually, do you know what? I haven't had anything of the sort, really, since this layout became an entity, which is great. And actually a bit of time before that, there might have been the odd little comment, but nothing to the severity of what happened when I had the original Sakura Adventure channel. I'm really pleased to say. Now, with the London North Western and that Japan being mentioned, that's one of the big things against, or two things against the LNWR there. All the steam engines are black, like all my Japanese steam engines are black. Some had lining, so there's a bit of lining on that D51 here, but obviously not as extensive as LNWR lining, Blackberry black lining. So very similar there in things, even though this is very much running more modern units really these days. But the same friend who this would never have happened if I'd stayed in contact with him. It was very much Japan was his thing, no one else's, not even the Japanese's. I even said that to one day, you're gonna shock you when you find out there's a race of people in the Japanese. This would never have happened with that friendship. His other big thing was LMS, London Midland Region, LNWR. So I've already broken down the barrier once for these. Oh, in theory I could do it again. The difference being, he had a particular way of going about Japan. I was able to go, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do it. If I do it, I'm doing it this way. And that's exactly that thing of, you know, someone else turns around to me. Scotrails, a fantastic example. When I picked up that set there, I was still hanging out with him. I thought he might be interested. He borderline blanked me about it. Borderline blanked me. So when Scots Rail started, comes to my channel, I immediately pop over to his channel. Fantastic! I leave a comment, reply to his comment on mine, go over to his, talk about, leave a big comment, watch the whole video, leave a big comment. I need to catch up with this new Japanese stuff, but that's the different way. LNW, he wasn't quite so protective about it, as it were, but I have that blocker in my head, so maybe not the way to go. Even though I have a calendar coming from them for work, but my calendar of work has been commented on. I've got some yokai on it in a minute, and apparently it's not very welcoming. It's the big famous big skeleton, which I can't remember the name of right now. But it's not that dark one. It's that plus some other yokai, and yeah, it's quite a bright picture really in the scheme of things. But yeah, all right. I'll have some steam trains instead, and I don't mind that because it's some steam trains to look at. Because I technically have free membership of the LNWR Society, and I still keep trying to reach out to tell them about it. I said I don't want my membership to be renewed, and I started getting reminders it's overdue. Yes, but no, I did ask for it to be cancelled, and then suddenly I had it paid. Okay, checked all my accounts. Nope, no money's gone out to this day. No money has gone out. Sent a message. Don't know who paid for this. Might have been they put my membership number in rather than their own and renewed mine and paid for it. But yeah, never heard anything back. And I know they've had a bit of an upheaval last year with having to relocate the archive and everything else. So maybe there's a bit of a muddle with that. But I'm endeavouring. If I see them at a show, I need to go up to say, look, really sorry, but. Now, the thing that brings me back to the LNWR frequently is the fact that it was local. Not as local as the Midland Railway was to me, but the Midland Railway was having nice bright liveries. At least you got the beautiful crimson. I have that beautiful 1B tank, or as it should be in Midland terminology, the 1532 class from Batman. None of their engines are named as far as I can tell. I can't see a single one named. So. Yeah, there might have been some, but not like say Underbar had a lot of different locos named. Obviously, I've got Hardwick, I've got an experiment class which I believe can carry a name. Some of the special tanks carry names. I think it was some of the special tanks that carried names, but there were more names to go around on the LNW than there were on the Midlands. So I'm lining things up and knocking him down here, aren't I? Another option was the Southern. Now, while there's lots of Southern regional layouts out there, because part of the idea is shunting plank first, then depending on how quick it is to get the garden sorted, to get to the garage, to get that side out sorted out, it might be an exhibition out next that I can store away somewhere, and take to shows. I'm trying to think about what would be different for punters, because obviously there's the majority of people there are training enthusiasts, people that are at least interested in railways. There are people there who aren't, and that's something that Sorano Michi provides at shows. It's something different to the eye. Obviously Japanese training is very different, nice bright colours on the trains themselves. And of course I've got the other bits and pieces, the Ghibli characters that prove popular with other people. Now listen, thing flying over. Wings are meant to stay stationary, one each side of the aircraft, and not chase each other around in circles. And the propeller is meant to be on the front. Go on. Silly whirligigs. Right. Yes, so I do like to think about these sorts of things as well, and it does impact my ultimate decision, because I like all the railways, so it's not like I'm going to lose out and go, oh well, I didn't choose that one, because like I said earlier, it's not a prison. It is just the basis. So yeah, Southern Railway Montsolera livery, the olive green would be what I'd think of, or everything in Southern livery at least, but looking towards the Kent coalfields, because there were collieries in Kent, oft overlooked. And it's the dirty face of the Southern. The Southern is known as a passenger carrying railway. It's the dirty face of the Southern. And something a little bit different on that front. And for the non-railway enthusiast, the colour palette is slightly different, because it's not the British Railways here, which is the most popular one I've seen for Southern modelling when I've been to shows. And then we come to the final one, which is the LNER. Now the LNER is one that former friend never really touched. He had a couple of engines and things and showed passing interest in one part of it. But no, very largely left alone. Now, LNER, obviously you get plain black locos. There are some with lining. I don't know where. Obviously, I'm guessing things like the 04s, the Q6s, that sort of thing. Heavy freight engines and other freight engines probably didn't get lining. And anyone who knows about the LNER, comments below, please let me know how the lining was applied or not applied. But I've seen these with both lining and not lined, so I'm not sure what's going on. This model, by the way, Hormir, to my mind, really knocked out of the park. I thought this one beautiful model is, in my opinion, and also would form a nice core. But for a collection, but of course, LNER, I've got Flying Scotsman, I've got Mallard up there. Mallard probably won't run. Flying Scotsman is DCC ready, so that could be done. I've got an older Green Arrow model. I've got the 04, which is ready to go as well. Older models can be DCC fitted. I just don't know how I'm going to get that done because I'm not confident doing it myself. Whether there's a shop or something I can send it to get them done and get them fitted, or whether it's worth it, because I've been told a few times the old Batman V2 is not worth it. Just get a new one. It'll be less hassle in the long run. So yeah, again. And also, it's got overhead electric flashes on it, which I'd have to remove first anyway. But so yes, the LNER, the only detractions I can think of for the LNER, I'm not sure how I feel about unpainted coaches. I kind of like a painted coach these days, and the Great Central ran through the Midlands, and this was always going to be one of the basis for a layout would be the idea of doing something connected to the Great Central, because LNER in the Midlands. But I'm not sure when it comes to Woodgate Junction how keen I am on island platform layout. But then it would be different to this one, which isn't an island platform, so maybe that's something not to worry about just yet. But yes, ultimately, of course, LNER allows for apple green, garter blue, the silver coronations, the apple green again. So yeah, it allows some other colours. So I'm just not sure about some bits. And unfortunately, I have noticed just how large some of the boilers look on some of the chassis, and the proportion bothers me. So yes, so those are some of the obvious ones that I'm not sure about. Some of them I am discrediting straight away. Now, obviously, Great Western, I'm going to look into why I shy away from it. Obviously, there are also GG Rail layouts out there, and British Railways Western Region ones. Not too many with red frames, maybe. So maybe that is an angle I can sort of build on and build up on a little bit. Yes, you know, that would be something. Also, with the Severn Valley being so close, the Gloucester being so close, they've got a lot of Great Western influence, reasonably close. But also, I've tried that, and I'm trying to think of something different, which there is RTR stock for. But yes, I do have. I will also at this point, I do have a set of LNWR coaches on order for Hardwick to pull. I've got a set of the wagons and both the brake vans on order for my freight loco. I've got the coal tank, you know, can pull the wagons and the brake vans around. So all the experiment camel, I've sorted that out. And for the Great Western also, I mentioned before, I've got wagons on order to sort out a brake van. So, you know, whatever I choose, my non-prison side of things allows these trains to run. They've got something to run with. So I'm not bothered about things like that in a minute. So yeah. But anyway, so if you've got a favourite railway and you think, actually, do you know what? I know just the thing for you. With it has to be steam. That's the only caveat. then please make your case for it down in the comments. I would be interested to hear. I can't guarantee I'm going to choose your one. Please don't feel too disappointed if I don't choose your one. Or if you think one of the ones I mentioned, do you think LNER, actually, do you know what? I think that would be really good for you. Then, for instance, LNWR, you know, Buggy, your friend. You've cast off the shackles, just go with it. You got your t-shirt made, it was great. Off you go, do that. You know, because that's going to be the Ashby and Nuneaton joints, so it'll be Midland and LNWR joints, so there'll be some more colour in there with the Midland logos. But I'm going to do a fictional thing. I was thinking about a fictional thing on the other side of Nuneaton towards Birmingham, where you can mix in the Great Western, because obviously it's going into Birmingham as well, and the Great Central on that same basis. I mean, the line I'll be taking to London was a joint built line between the GWR and the GCR. I think it was financed by the GWR, to be honest with you, but yeah, so let me know. Anyway, I've wasted 20 minutes of your time, 21 minutes of your time now. Interested to see your thoughts. Take care, be well. Look forward to meeting some of you, or, you know, any of you at Ali Pally, I believe the way we refer to it. And enjoy the videos of the current railway scene at the end, if that's your thing. Anyway, till next time, arigato gozaimashita. Take care all. Sayonara. Cheerio. Wow, I got really British one, didn't I? Cheerio, bye.